On this truck there is a giant towing pintle here, extra headlights up top. Hopefully I won't be using them, I won't be driving at night. Around the side of the cab you can get up to the safari seats up here for getting a good view of all the game we might be going to see, and hopefully remaining quite safe. Really only elephants and giraffes will get you up here. One of the unfortunate things about this kind of truck is that the cab, which sits right on top of the engine, doesn't tilt forward so that you can get into the engine easily. The only access is through these side panels. Like that. And there isn't much room for working on what is a very big engine in here. You can get to it from underneath as well. And also if you remove the cab seats, the cab floor, well, that's rather a big job to do in itself. It's quite unfortunate. Stowed away here in the truck we have an axe, a bow saw and a table. On the side are what are called sand planks. They're used to put down on very difficult terrain where the truck isn't managing to make any forward progress. If it's getting bogged down, stuck on sand, something like that, you can make a road for yourself with these. Only a short stretch, but it's often enough. Under the tilt here, just showing, is a tow chain. On this side there's one giant diesel tank, another service diesel tank, exhaust, blasting the fumes away from the passengers, a storage box for general truck items, jacks, things like that, and 2 spare tires. The tilt side is usually rolled up when we're travelling around. The weather's usually that warm and the views are that good, you don't want this in the way, but it can be pulled down if the weather's that bad. The truck's looking particularly tatty at the moment because it has been well used. It's not been cleaned up since it was last used, but hopefully before the trip begins it'll be looking quite prim and proper. Over on this side of the truck there is a vise for mechanical repairs, a shovel stowed. Behind that panel is a space for truck tools. Here is storage space for passengers' water. This is a spare suspension spring for the truck. Another giant diesel tank. Behind here is the kitchen. Like so. Or what we call the kitchen anyway. Right at the back here is a storage bin for charcoal and a beer cooler. That's about it for the outside of the truck. There is a lot more storage space inside. There's some in here as well in the safari seat. But that is essentially the outside of the truck. So here is the driver's seat in a very, very basic cab. No air conditioning in here, but there are at least these very effective quarter-light windows for the driver and passenger that allow them to direct a good blast of airflow straight through the cab and That's aided by what's up above them, a hole in the roof. Designed for army use as a gun turret, that can be opened up to provide more ventilation, or somewhere for anyone in the cab to stand up and have a good look around. What you can't see, just on the other side of the driver's seat, up against the door, is a parking brake. Behind the steering column is an emergency hand-operated brake that's there to apply the brakes purely with the air pressure applied rather than relying on the foot brake acting against its own master cylinder. There are some very standard instruments such as a charge indicator, speedometer, mileometer, fuel gauge, oil pressure gauge. Standard for a large vehicle is an air pressure gauge showing the air in each air tank. That's the reservoirs for the air brakes. A military style light switch. A 4-speaker stereo. A buzzer for the passengers to get the driver's attention. Even a heater. And down beside it, a rev counter. When it comes to driving the truck, it's quite a challenging experience, bearing in mind that the truck probably sits about 5 tons on top of the front axle. There is no power steering. The pedal arrangement is very standard. The gearbox is relatively standard, although you must double declutch to change gears. But you have to mix that in with 2 other gear sticks that operate what's called a transfer box that allows you to select between high and low ratio gears, or 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive. 4-wheel drive in this truck is really just the assistance of the front axle when needed. It's not to be used at any other time. Using it at any other time can result in severe damage to the transmission. Also in the cab behind the seats is some secure storage space.